Good afternoon. 0%. And good afternoon. Welcome to Blindformers. I am your host, Blind Prime, and today for you we have episode 18, Seige Megatron. And we have right here is War for Cybertron, Seige Megatron. He's a pretty beastly little dude. He's got some good balance. He comes with this sword that transforms into a gun barrel. And then he comes with, of course, his fusion cannon. Now, I got the Netflix one, which meant that he also came with a couple of Battle Masters, which one of them was Leonizer, and the other one was something, one of the guys that has a crappy transformation and folds into a couple of double-barrel guns. And not really going to be discussing many of the Battle Masters here, except for maybe a couple that have really cool transformations that I find to be a little more complicated. But let's get into it. So we have Megatron here, and Megatron stands tall at at 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 studs tall. You are a tall guy. Not as tall as some, but taller than others. Now, we have for comparison here a Seige Soundwave. Well, Sound Blaster. I haven't been able to find a Soundwave of anything. I really hope they re-release Soundwave in Kingdom. That would be really nice. But as you can see, the Voyager class Seige Soundwave, or the Soundwave mold, stands up to Megatron's shoulder. Megatron is still a bit taller than this other Voyager here. And then this other Voyager is pretty cool. Alright. Let's discuss the... Where's my friend Mr. Bumblebee? Here's Bumblebee to give you a comparison. Bumblebee stands up to... Really, Bumblebee? Once again, up to Megatron's hip. Proving once and for all, Bumblebee is always going to be the shortest deluxe figure. Comparing a deluxe to a Voyager is pretty crazy anyway, but that's pretty cool. Now, let's put Bumblebee off to the side, and let's get to transforming this guy. Megatron's transformation is actually both simple and fun. So, first off, we're going to remove his... Get out of your hand. There you go. There. Remove his sword. His sword is gone. You don't need to remove his fusion cannon. That's actually part of the transformation. So, let's go ahead and straighten his arms out. Cool. Now, what I like to do first is take care of his backpack. So, what we're going to do with that is, actually before that, I did want to mention that I haven't been using the right word for things that have texture to them. It's called molded detail. And this Megatron right here has some crazy awesome molded detail. You can feel all sorts of little panels and notches on his body. It's actually really well done. And it's fun. You know, your fingers can explore all sorts of little areas on him that can tell a story of their own. I'd say it's texturally sound. It feels nice in the hand. So, to start the transformation off, we will be picking his head up. Boom, like that. Oh, isn't that great? Alright, now we want to pick up his entire backpack that goes with his head. So just reach around him, grab the two treads that are next to each other that make up the backpack, and just pick it straight up. All the way now. Make sure it goes all the way. Once you've done that, go ahead and, since it's going to be easier now than later, rotate the waist 180 degrees. Now that that is done, we want to then go back up to the treads that we just slipped all the way up there. And you notice there's like this panel that moves. You want to make sure this panel is folded backwards, away from the treads. They don't like it when this panel's involved. They don't like to move at all. Now that that's done, grab each tread from his backpack that's now sticking up in the front and rotate them by pushing forwards on them. It's a difficult push. Like, they don't want to move, and it can feel as though you're about to break it. But don't worry, guys. So you want to make sure that when you push them, you're pushing them out towards the front of him from his back, so that the wheels are facing, or the little pinwheel things that he has on him are actually on the same side of his chest. It's a bit difficult to describe it, except that it will become the front of the tank, and his head is going to hide in there. But we're done with that for now. We don't really have much to do there. Now, what we do is, when that's taken care of, go ahead and take the arms. Remember the arms from earlier? And now that the backpack is missing, the arms can actually fold forwards or around and connect together with the fusion cannon. So both arms will fold backwards to lay across his back, and both forearms are actually going to connect together with the fusion cannon to create the tank turret. So there you go, tank turret done. Now let's go to his legs. Just take his legs, unfold. There's a panel on the side of his leg where you feel the wheel. You'll feel a hinge near the wheel, and that's because this entire chunk of the tread actually folds forwards. And you want to do it with both sides. The easiest way to do it is feel inside the leg. You'll feel a negative zone. You want to push against one of the walls of the negative zone, and the panel will come loose. It's that simple and that easy. Now, this is the troublesome bit, and What are you doing? How did you get in here? Don't question me about it. To yourself, crazy cat. All right, so this is the part that always gets me, and it's one of the reasons why I started this entire channel in the first place, was because of Megatron, and I always screw this up slightly, but it's okay. You can screw it up a little bit. So what you want to do is bend his leg at the knee, and once you've bent the leg at the knee, pop the knee. And this is easier said than done. Actually, keep the leg straight and then pop the knee, but it doesn't want to pop, and you'll think you're breaking it, but you want to pop the knee at the sense of pushing the knee outwards away from the center of mass, and that means that the entire leg is going to fold towards the other leg. The foot will try and fold to touch the other foot, and this hinge that pops at a left on one side and right on the other is right above the hinge for the knee. And actually, the knee hinge is now going to come into play as you have popped that hinge, and it doesn't click, sadly. Now you rotate his entire thigh with the hinge popped into that negative zone of the tread. And once you've done that, go ahead and close it up nice and sound. There you go. You want to repeat the process on the other side by rotating that assembly into the negative zone. So thigh goes into the negative place, that same place where we used to help us open the back of the treads up. So there you go. Now fold both of his heels upwards on his feet, because that's about all the transformation you're going to complete with him, with the feet. Now that you've gotten the knee assembly kind of complete, make sure that all the panels are connected. Make sure that the knee assembly is well maintained. There we go. And you'll see that you now have two really nice treads on the back. But these treads on the front are really too far forwards. So how are we going to do this? Well, it's simple. Rotate the tank barrel, like the tank turret, so that the longer part of it is over the leg assembly and the shorter part of it is near the front. And make sure you pick the turret up so that it's away from you. You don't want it to get in the way. It will get in the way if you're not careful. Now that you've done that, go ahead and fold the head back into its location and either tread side down towards the rest of the vehicle. It's easier if you put it on its back treads, like, and face it towards the ceiling, so headlights to the ceiling. That's the best way to say it. Once you've done that, you can actually kind of push and make sure everything is in its right position. And it's not my fault you keep coming in here when I'm doing videos. Maybe leave. Now that you've done you've pushed the treads together, there's this little flappy bit that is like this panel on the backpack. It folds forwards and between the two front treads and will partially cover the head on the bottom, so that when you're looking at the tank from the front, you won't see the head, and you can actually drag your finger there and you won't even feel the head. And now, once you've moved both of the arm treads or backpack treads backwards into their appropriate spots and folded the panel down and over to cover the head, then you lower the turret back down. Make sure that both arms are cooperating with you. There we go. And just like that, he's done. He is not that complicated of a transformer. It's actually a little upsetting, in my opinion. Now, you take his crazy weird sword gun and you unattach both sides, then rotate them 90 degrees on both sides. There we go. Once you've done that, and it looks like your little gun has two legs, so you can kind of walk around like some weird thing. You want to put those two pieces underneath the fusion cannon. Come on now. Come on now. There you go. There you go. There you go. It doesn't always like to do its thing, but it can, and it will. Especially when you screw it up. Like I just did. There we go. Come on. There you go. And there. Maybe that's how... You know, this is a way that I was told to do it, but I don't like doing it that way. I like actually twisting the little bits on the gun barrel assembly so that they make the sword, but minus the gun. So you get this spiky bit. Then you can take the spiky bit and shove it underneath the turret, and you plug in the gun arm, and then you get a really nice turret that can move around and stuff. It's pretty cool. I think he's a decent tank. Not the best tank I've seen, and all that motion caused the legs or the front to unfold. He doesn't like holding together in his robot mode. I mean, his vehicle mode too much. He can be a bother. There you go. Megatron. Now let's get him some sizing. So, for length, Megatron is coming from his back feet all the way to the tip of the... We're not doing it by the turret, we're doing it by the headlights. So tail lights to headlights, you get 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So he loses 2 studs in his transformation and becomes 21 studs long. Now, a bit about the tank mode. His feet feel like they should fold inwards and kind of rest against each other in the back of the tank area. They do not. I kind of made, see the hinge on the left foot? Hear that? That's not supposed to happen. I kind of broke mine because I was trying too hard to transform them so that both of the legs, or both of the feet met in this center hollow area. I didn't realize it was supposed to be an H tank. So this is an H tank, meaning that it is similar to a capital H. So the best example I can give is a mammoth tank, but only with 1 cannon. Now, where is my cliff jumper? Where is my cliff jumper? Here's my cliff jumper. So here's cliff jumper for comparison, and cliff jumper goes from the back foot all the way to just beyond the second tread, which the treads have slipped out of their sockets again. Then, not the best tank. I'm not too happy with Megatron. I wish they had given us a better one. I'm hoping Galvatron will be better. But Cliffjumper comes up to a little way into the second of the two treads on the sides. The best way to put it is Megatron's fusion cannon assembly thing is much longer than Cliffjumper. Heck, I think even Megatron's fusion cannon by itself is Cliffjumper size. So Cliffjumper is as long as the fusion cannon. Good grief, you're tiny. Now, do we have anything else for comparison before I go? Here it is. Here is Seige Prime mold. Now, the Seige Prime mold and the Megatron molds actually are the same size, at least in length and vehicle modes. That's pretty cool. I have to say that's pretty neat. But thank you for watching. For this transformation, I would say it was easier than Bumblebee. This is one of the easiest transformations that I've come across. It is very intuitive. You just, when you figure things out, everything goes together. The hardest part is remembering to pop that knee sideways at the right point before you do much else, and I always forget to do that. You'll slip your mind, but as transformations go, this guy's pretty simple. The knee pop is the most complicated bit. As ways go of talking about it, I have a Megatron, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'm not too terribly happy with the Megatron. So I'll say it's it's a hot dog. You know, it'll fill you up, it'll satisfy your appetite, but it may give you an upset stomach later. Now, as Seige ports go, he's got 4, and 5 counting the barrel of the gun. Does he have any on his sides? He actually does not. 4 Seige ports in vehicle mode. Very sad, Megatron. I was really hoping you had more. Anyway, this has been Blind Prime, and you've been watching Blindformers, and I hope you have enjoyed today's video, even with the special guest star of Sugar the Kitten. Hey.
Service updating.